Good morning, everyone. I'm just doing a vertical live stream. I figured I know my audience that like watching me on a TV is probably hating me for doing a vertical live stream, but this was just one of those last minute things. I figured I'd reach a different audience. Yeah, let me see if I can get this in. Ah, there we go. Get that on a stand, just so I can kind of pack up while I'm actually doing a vertical live stream. So what I did with last night is I was getting to the top of this mountain on my bicycle, and this popped up. This is almost to the top. It's not quite to the top. I probably got a few more kilometers of actually. Hey, we got a few people joining already. Um, Said I'm just waking up. I still camped I'm not sure how if this is pixelated or not, but yeah, I stealth camped in a park in a tree house of all things, and so I'm just packing up my gear, getting my pajamas off, and yeah, getting ready to hit the road. My time it's a little after 8 o'clock, and so hang on a second. So while I'm doing the live stream, I'm also going to be getting ready to get out of here. So yeah, you can see my surroundings. Great view though. It was an awesome view, pretty outstanding view from up here. Let me throw on my pants. So I'm going to step off camera real quick. Although I'm wearing boxers, it's not a big deal. So I was lucky to find this area, this thing up here, because on top of the mountain I figured it was going to get pretty breezy and cold, and how it's been acting is so it's been getting like the rain's been hitting every single day. So it hasn't been a dry one yet, really. No, it looks good, looks cool, but we cannot hear anything whatsoever. You can't hear anything. Okay, how about now? Still no sound? Are we good? Okay. I don't know why. I mean, I wasn't muted, but I toggled the mute off and then back on. And hey, as long as it works, man. Um, all right, cool. Anyway, all I was saying was I decided to do a vertical live stream, flip this on while I'm getting ready and packing up my stuff. I don't want to push it too fast, 8 o'clock, because it's still a park, so you know people are going to be wandering through here, and obviously people are milking the sap trees. They're sapping the trees here, the pine trees, for its resin. So not that I don't think they'd even care that I'm camping up here. It's just, I prefer not to find out. These are the things that I actually lay on. I got them actually for the Hennessy hammock because it's basically to stop the underbreeze. As a ground mat, it works okay. Not the most comfortable thing in the world, but yeah, they definitely are worth $1, but they do work. Yep. So who do we have here anyway? Let's see. Turpentine. So I kind of looked it up. I know that like woodsman wise, it's one of the most handy things in the world. Tree sap from pine trees, because one, it's super flammable, and actually, if you get an old like at the base of a tree that's been hurt, cut down or something, you can get what's the resin, the pine sap accumulates at the base of the tree, so you can get what's called fat root wood. The fat wood itself is very good. You carry around just a chunk of it. You scrape off like flakes of it with your knife, just enough to get like a little fire going. Fat wood's real good. But just the sap itself ignites very easy. You can heat up the sap. I've heated up the sap a lot of times. You crush down some charcoal, and once the sap warms up and you can just mix it up and make glue, and you can repair your shoes. It's waterproof. The more sap you use, the more flexible it is. The more charcoal you use, the more hard and brittle it is. There's other things too. You can use like animal scat if you need the fibers. It's basically the charcoal is like the fiber that bonds the sap together. But you can use almost anything like animal scat. Yeah. And you can repair things. I wouldn't repair like food dishes with animal scat, but and pine needles are really great because you can use the duff, as like a makeshift natural carpet because it's waterproof and stuff, and it gives you like a little bit of if you build it up real high, you can put your tent on top of it, and the water will seep underneath and not get the bottom of your tent completely wet, and it gives you it's pretty good to sleep on. Once in a while they poke you in the face and stuff, but they're not bad. But as for why they would do it, industrial uses, turpentine, I think, different things like that for industrial use. That's what I Googled it the other day to try and find out what the Indonesians use it for, and they said they use it for industrial reasons. And so I've seen a lot of the majority of the pine trees I see out here, they're all got a bag connected to them, and the outer bark's been removed, and they scrape up the center, the actual flesh of the tree. Anyway, good morning, everyone. We're back out on the road. You can see the lake. Check this out. I'll just turn this whole thing way down there. Let's see. I came from this direction, and it's hard to figure out because I'm like right on the tip. I think I came from this direction, so I think I'm actually be going up and over the mountain here before passing over to the other side. So I still got a little bit of an uphill to do. So hello everyone. Hello. See Matt, hey, what's up, my brother? The fish you had at the link looks very good. It must have felt really nice to get such a great gift from those kind folks. Yeah, the people at the lake were like super, super nice. It's kind of sectioned up. So there's actually like 3 different sections. I think that what it is the owner of the restaurant, which those kids work for, they take care of their little area of the beach to try and drag in business for themselves and stuff. So those kids were like super cool. And yeah, the fisherman came in, and he was deaf. So I didn't realize that. He kind of was just sitting there staring at me, and which was, I was like, oh, that's kind of creepy, but it wasn't. It's just he was deaf, so he couldn't hear anything. Even if I used Google Translate, I'd actually have to show him. But yeah, those guys were like super awesome. And the first section I walked into was a little rundown, and the next one was not really built. It's just that middle section is like the best built up and taken care of. But I still think it's a public beach, meaning if I wanted to fight the issue, I could probably try to sleep there for free. But fact is that that 50,000, which I still think is a little too steep when you're talking a room, can be 80,000. So that's how I'm gauging it, and I think I'm right because some people told me that they camped somewhere for like 20,000. But honestly, that they were beyond gracious. You know, you just saw that meal I got, man. That was a crazy meal. Anyway, guys, let me. Like I said, I flipped this on as a last minute thing. And as soon as I get out of the lake area, I'm going around the north side of the lake, which is pretty awesome in itself. Let's see. That whole trip around the northern part of the island and then down and across the bridge was awesome. But as soon as you get across that bridge, you start climbing this mountain. And at first it fools you because you look at the mountain, you're like, oh no, I don't want to pass you and go over that, because I mean, it's definitely like a steep mountain. But there's a pass that goes in between that they they more or less cut out, but there was also a river there, so the river also cut it out a long time before they did. I was like, oh good, I'm gonna go through the pass, right? And sure enough, once you get through that, that's when the climbing starts, and it's nonstop. But I don't think it's as bad as the last one, because the switchbacks on this road are very, very, very long and dragged out. So I didn't have to get off my bicycle once and actually push. I just had to throw it into lower granny gears and just put my head down and just keep going, you know. I took a lot of breaks, trust me. I'm not that physically fit, you know. But, you know, I pulled over many a times and tried to catch my wheezed. You can hear me wheezing on the videos all the time, but hey, you know what? I haven't used an inhaler in a long time, so I'm doing good. All right, guys, I gotta start busting this down. This little kid's tent. That's only taking me a second. Yeah, this was a good spot last night. That would help. I forgot to untie that. Get my stuff in the room. Yeah, this is a cheap tent though. When I let it go, when I tried to battle test it in the rain, it started leaking pretty fast. But you know, Coleman, once Coleman actually sold out to Walmart, they went really crappy too. And Coleman used to be a good brand. And I like the even though I have my Hennessy hammock, and hammock camping is wonderful. Hammock camping is very, very, very picky. So the whole aspect of it being actually that picky and that much of a pain in the butt, I wouldn't say that it's the best thing for a vagabond. Now there's situations where it is, like in Hawaii, when we were beach bums in Hawaii, the hammock is almost the only thing you want to do because you don't have to take it down in the morning. Where because in Hawaii, if you're sleeping on the beach, the lifeguards get there at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So if you have any type of camp, which you usually don't, no one uses a tent in Hawaii unless they're off in the bush somewhere. Then it's usually just a ground mat and like a blanket, like a towel or something, not a full-on blanket. Something you can roll up and stick in the tree. If it's in the tree, then it's someone owns it. Don't throw it away. Otherwise, usually people go by and they'll clean up. They're like volunteer groups and stuff. They'll throw away whatever they see that they think is garbage. But if it's tucked in the tree, they leave it alone. Okay, let's see. Let me do some of this. So I'm doing good, actually. So, yeah, this last one didn't whoop my ass too. Maybe I'm either building up my calluses from that last one, or I was expecting a lot worse. I think I was expecting a lot worse. I don't think I'm over it. Hey, Doug, how you doing, my brother? Oh, you got a total blackout up there in northern. So Doug, if you guys don't know, Planet Doug, he's also here in Indonesia. He's north of me at the very, 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 very top of Sumatra. Where am I going today? I'm just going to keep pedaling towards the coast on the most direct route that I can. I can't remember the name of the town, and since I'm doing this, I can't switch on Google Maps. But I do have a planned route. That gets me over to the coast, and once I get on the coast, because the west coast is a lot better from the east coast, from what I understand, like traffic wise. So far, I think that my personal experience is that I was expecting a nightmare from what everyone else said. Everybody said Sumatra is just the most terrible place in the world to ride a bicycle because of traffic. But maybe I came over with that assumption in mind, and when I got here, I was like, it's not that bad at all. Someone actually posted something like the worst countries to actually, the worst countries for, accidents and the worst drivers and stuff. Indonesia wasn't even on it. So, yeah, my personal experience is I've only had like two of those small little. The buses here are not the big, huge ones that honk their horns at you, like in Vietnam was the worst. They don't give you any space. They'll whip big ass bus will whip by you with that much space. And but here it reminds me a lot like Vietnam, but they're way more courteous. The buses are the smaller ones. Like they're just vans, and they've always given me good 2-3 feet. They prefer just to drive in the middle of the street around here anyway, because they don't know if they're going to come around a rock and there's going to be an animal, or around a corner and there'll be like a rock. That's just how it is. There's rocks all over the street here coming down. That's one thing that scared me actually coming up is the rocks. I'd see the rocks on the ground, and I'm like, oh, I can't pull over the side here and take a breather because these rocks look like they're about ready to tumble down at any second. You see a rock here and a rock there, and you're like, I don't want to stand here and have a rock come down on me. So you really had to kind of look at what's the embankment look like before you take a break, and also am I on a blind corner where someone might screech around and hit me. But so yeah, you really got to choose where you get to the side and pull over and take a breath. Okay, let me jump up on the current. Hey Flea, how you doing, my brother? Yeah, it's a nice tree house. The glass, single pane, but it'll keep out the window, the wind. Now this whole structure is just held up by like 1x6s and whatever wood that they could actually, the planks they made themselves. I'm pretty sure the windows they brought in. But this whole place is shifted, and yeah, you look underneath, and the outer the outer beams are not even touching the load bearing beams are not even touching the actual ground. And I'm like, okay, well, I think I'm safe if I stay like near the trees because there's a tree here and a tree here, and the main part of the strength is right here. But yeah, no, it's kind of sketchy. You look underneath, you'll see that it's yeah. So I'm getting over to the West Coast. I'm sorry I never fully answered your question, asking me where I'm going now. Um, uh, so I'm just trying to get over to the coast and try and do a coastal route because the coastal routes are usually um, are a lot flatter and they're easy to actually find camping areas just because it's a beach and beaches are usually public access. And the only bad thing is you got to kind of gauge that too because you can get hit with a lot of storms being right on the beach. The wind comes whipping up off that. Watch my old videos from Vietnam and stuff, and but if you put yourself back a few hundred feet, you start hitting almost instant jungle. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh no, or something. So, um, okay, let's see. So just a little info, please be careful when you are in West Java. There are many bad people and scammers on the roadside. If you need help, it's better to ask locals who live there. Yeah, yeah. So another thing I didn't mention too much in one of the videos when I did a little update on who I was and stuff like this is also what type of creatures that I grew up around. So what I find normal is that anytime you go in, because my comment section is spammed with people talking about snakes. What I mean by spammed is I understand the concern. It's like, hey, snakes, but one, two, three times, okay, I got it. But once you start hitting 20, 30 times, everybody's saying, hey, look out for snakes. Now it's becoming spam. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, you don't have to tell a person 30 times one thing. Um, Especially I grew up around snakes too. It's just different snakes. Here they have the cobra. We have something like that in the United States. It's a coil snake and stuff like that. Same venom, but the coil snake won't really bite you because unless you strangle it. But by accident, you might reach into a wood pile and get bit by a coil snake. But the main one I grew up around was poisonous was rattlesnakes. Lots of rattlesnakes, like daily, every single day we'd see like at least one rattlesnake. And my dad used to have a 357. He used to, get rid of them, not because he wanted to, but because he had kids and they were on our property. So they like to climb up underneath our trailer because to get out of the sun to regulate their body temperature. So we had rattlesnakes everywhere. So I grew up around, and we also had a mountain lion that you could hear scream every night. It was like a mama mountain lion, and you could hear her going, ow, ow, ow. My dad first thought it was one of us, hurt somewhere. So he's running out in the bush listening to this, ow, ow, and he's looking, he's like, oh no, one of my kids are hurt. So he's running towards the sound. Well, that's a mountain lion, probably in heat or something, and mountain lions are no joke. Mountain lions go straight for the kill. They get on you and get to the back. So because they want to bite down on your neck and break your neck. So they're strong. They will jump up on you, break your neck, and you're dead. And they know they can do that too. Now, the best thing is get up, be as big as possible, because every time they size up all their prey, and they don't want to take in on anything that's 80% their size or higher usually. So they'll gauge you. So usually you stand up bigger with a mountain lion. but they are very fierce, and it's one of those things is that they're on you like that. You don't have it if they're 50 feet away from you. It'll take them less than 1 second to be on you. So and so it's like when you see one, it's like, okay, game is on your side. You know, the ball's in your court. What are you gonna do? I just want to walk through this forest, you know, and you can't trust them because they're cats. You know, it's like they could like look at you and you can see them processing in their head and then they'll go, okay, I don't want to do that today, and they'll walk off, right? And but they might if they start coming towards you, like if they got a little like a little and they got a little kid that they that they have like a small little mountain lion, then they'll attack you and they'll hunt you. You know, I mean, they're not. They will. Been known to actually follow hikers and ambush hikers and stuff. So yeah. So I grew up with mountain lions, rattlesnakes as a daily thing. Mountain lion that's on my property. And we had also black bears, which are not a big thing. I woke up with a bear sniffing on me once when I was camping up in Mount Shasta. That was a very, very scary experience, but we knew the black bear. And I know black bears are not really fierce. You know, the only part of a black bear you really ever going to see is his ass while he's running away from you. So I like black bears. Now, grizzlies are made big for a reason. That way you can see them from a distance and get away from that area because they are fierce. And grizzlies, we had grizzlies too. Luckily, I've never seen a grizzly. Don't want to either. That is a furry elephant that likes to bite you, you know, and that's basically what it is. It's a big thing that's going to mess your day up royally. If you don't die, you're going to want to be dead. So those are the creatures I grew up around. So I understand the concern about the cobras, the elephants, and the tigers, but I'll match it with the grizzly, the rattlesnake, and the mountain lion. So, you know, your turn. So anyway, I understand the concern, people, but yeah, I fully understand the concern. But I grew up around dangerous creatures too. The one I'm mostly scared of is man. Honestly, that's the only. I mean, animals, if they're not going to kill you and eat you, then they're most likely not going to take you on. And that's the good thing because man, even if he's not going to, you know, even if he's not going to eat you, he's going to still take you on. You know, man is the most dangerous thing out here. And I just don't. So my more concerns are with the people than the wildlife. But yeah, I'm definitely, I'm concerned about the snakes. I don't want to run into the snakes are going to be probably the most aggressive. The tigers, yeah, are aggressive. There's a lot of aggressive animals. Anyway, so I got the message about the snakes, guys. You can quit now. You don't have to tell me anymore. I'll be careful about snakes. I'll be careful about lions and not lions, tigers, and I'll be careful about those. You don't have to keep telling me. I get the message. Okay, the coastal city I'm heading to is called Saboga. Saboga. I butcher everything, so okay, Saboga. And you said it's also pretty well downhill after I get over this, Planet Doug. I'm not really a snake charmer. I just, I see when you grow up around a certain, uh, when you grow up around a certain type of animals, those animals are normal, and you know, so I am out of my wheelhouse because I didn't grow up around the king cobras and the elephants and the tigers. So my reactionary is going to be different. I won't. It's out of my wheelhouse. It's like, you know, like with it, like I'm used to a mountain lion, and I'm used to being, you know, very cautious of mountain lions, looking for their scat, their poo, making sure not to be kind of in the same location. bears, bears are bears. I don't want to tangle with the grizzly, but also I'm not really scared of the black bear. I'm not going to go looking to wrestle one, but so these, and even the rattlesnake, I find is a very non-aggressive animal because it doesn't want to tangle with you. That's what the rattle's for. If you're getting close to it, it doesn't want to be stepped on. So it goes, you're like, oh, there's a rattlesnake here. Turn around and walk off. The only exception to that is if you do have an open sleeping bag. Sometimes they will climb in because they try and regulate their body heat by what they have in nature, and you're a warm area, and they have been known to climb into the bags. And unfortunately, I did have that happen on me, but it was a quail snake, I think, or it could have been a gardener snake. That's the difference. In the dark, they look alike because they're both striped, and when you can't see what color those stripes are. And I made so it was in we were getting hit with a microclimate from a spot called, look at the view here though. A microclimate from Mount San Francisco in Flagstaff. Um, and I had to build a shelter. And this is back in the days I was not carrying around gear. I was gear free and testing my bushcrafting skills by my shelter building and stuff. And so every spot I went, I relied on my skill set for building shelters, which is fun. And it doesn't take months. Just go out and start doing it. It's kind of like building forts as a kid. You just want that fort to be waterproof, and keep in body heat, and so you got to give yourself 3 hours before sunset, and start building your winter. The microclimate that was coming off, the temperature was dropping fast, and I was like, oh crap, I think it's going to snow. And so I had to start building like it was a debris hut, but it was almost like almost a spider shelter. So like a lean-to that kind of wraps around itself, right? And you might call it a teepee, but it's not a big teepee. It's a debris hut using usually a center stable item and wrapping around. And so I built that up, climbed into it, and it was built up against a rock, like a pile of rocks. I'm like, I bet you some creatures live in that. So I smoked it out. I pulled out a few rocks, made a little fire pit area inside it, and just like put wood in it and just smoked it, hoping to get rid of all the bugs and stuff. Well, as soon as I built the shelter, climbed in there, I found a bunch of sleeping bags that it was an old camping area. People were just leaving their sleeping bags because the zippers broke on it. Well, I gathered all those up, unless they were like too dirty, and I used them as the ground. Use anything you can, right? You use anything when you're creating your own shelter, and so I used those as my to keep warm. And I was like, I hope a snake doesn't, because of the old, guy, like the cowboy waking up and opening up his sleeping bag and there's a rattlesnake on his crotch. Well, that old story went through my head, and I'm like, I hope that doesn't happen to me because I have no way of zipping this up. Well, sure enough, I had to get up, and I think I was going out to use the restroom, even though you usually carry a pee bottle on you. And as soon as I took off the upper sleeping bag, which I'm using more as like a comforter now, there's a snake right on my crotch, but it's striped. But I can't really tell what color them stripes are. I think they're white and black, so I think I'm good. But it was like, oh no, what's that? I'm like, crap, I got to see what type of snake. It's either a coil snake or just a gopher snake, right? So I was like, well, my flashlight's in my pocket and he's sleeping, and that's like, I'd have to reach underneath him to get my flashlight out of my pocket. And I'm like, crap. So I had what's called we call it a credit card. It's a black marker, usually the very thick ones. That way you can write on a sign, homeless, traveler, anything helps, God bless, on a sign, homeless, like will work for food type sign. Or when you're traveling, if you're walking, you just put where you're going on the back of your backpack with a cardboard sign. That way you don't have to keep your thumb out the whole time while you're walking. And it works if people pick you up. Well, I had that. And we call it a credit card because that's how you make your money. You write down hungry, traveler, anything else, and that's your credit. That's how you withdraw money from the ATM. So I had that, and I tried to get that underneath him because it's a big marker, and I tried to flick him, but he didn't go far. He just went somewhere else in the small little debris hut I had. But I lost track of him. I don't know where he went. So anyway, guys, that's a hobo ramble. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I was like, oh no, he's still in here somewhere. I think he took off, but he didn't want no smoke, so he left. I think it was a gopher snake, but I couldn't be sure. I just remember I did actually wake up with a snake on my crotch, like the stories, and it does happen. Um, no, I'm sleeping well. I'm just waking up, so that's why I look tired. I don't have my caffeine in me yet, which I do actually have some Coke. All right, guys, that's me rambling. That's 30 minutes. I'm gonna pack this up. It's probably going on close to 9 o'clock. Uh, what started as just me to jump up to do a live stream this way. Most of my live streams are going to be vertical because half my audience actually watches on TV, and I know how it sucks to watch a little vertical thing on a big ass screen TV. Wait. Planet Doug at Planet don't pretend to know any of you have never been to the state in Indonesia. Okay. Don't pretend. I don't know if that's meant in good humor there, Sabri, but Planet Doug's a person on my channel that I have high respect for. So yeah, at Flooded Dog, don't pretend to know Indonesia if you're still eating Indonesian food that Malaysians claim. I don't know. Hopefully that's all in good humor. I don't think it's meant in a mean way, but if it is, don't be a troll on my channel. I will kick you off. And one way to do that is to badmouth Planet Doug. So yeah, just don't be a troll. I mean, no one likes trolls. Don't use all capital letters because YouTube alone looks for all capital letters. And if you just start typing everything in capital letters, which I've seen you do, YouTube themselves will not post it because they think it's spam. They have what's called spam. They have like letters of spam, and if you post like 5 or 6 things in one video, instead of just posting something in a video, unless you're responding to someone that's responded to you. But if you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all on one video, that's considered spam. All capitals are considered spam, right? So these are not proper etiquettes for any type of social media. And what it will do is it'll piss people off, and you'll start noticing that you're on less and less channels. So don't be a dickhead on my channel, because I can be a bigger dickhead, and that's a fact, man. So, but if it was meant in good humor, then forgive me. Don't pick on Doug. Don't pick on me. And anyway, I'm signing off, guys. Peace out.